This is what I'm using as a paint roller, my broom, because I didn't want to buy one.
First problem already. This stands up way too tall.
Alright, we got the bar very secure now. It's all level.
Most people think that your side hustle or your business fails because you've run out of money, but that's just a symptom of what actually happens. What actually happens is founders spend their money on things that customers do not want. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to avoid that, whether you're doing AI, online shopping, whatever. My specialty is brick and mortar, but I think this covers all bases. Let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Ian. I'm an entrepreneur based in Zurich, Switzerland, and I run an urban axling range, which is a physical space. I grew it from zero to over $500,000 in revenue every single year, and we're growing year on year. This year, we're on track to do 30% more. And something that I learned very early on is that I need to stop trying to build things that people don't want. Let me give you a good example. The axling range that I built is very simple. It's a couple of wood beams, some metal fencings, and now it's become more complicated. But when I started it, it was so incredibly lightweight. It was a couple planks of wood on the wall drawn on with Sharpies. Like that was literally the first business. From there, we were listening to customer feedback and see what they could potentially want. Now, a lot of businesses, when they start, especially physical businesses, what they'll do is they'll go in and they make it really fancy. Like if you're like a restaurant or something like this, I see the trap of falling into like, oh, this has to be perfect, this has to be nice, this has to be all put together. So I think the first trap, if you're doing something physical, is making it way too fancy to start. There's a certain charm and like authenticity that comes from building a business without much money. It shows that you're scrappy, that you like, people can see it, right? People can see that you've done this stuff yourself. That's the first thing. The second thing is when people can see that you've built something like on your own and you don't have it professionally done, as long as it works, that also shows.
Today, we actually managed to hang a lot of the chain link fence. So we got these guys up. They're not up as they should be yet. They're going to be zip tied together so that everything is nice and secure. Just mounted that board back to its post. Nice and secure. Now I'm going to take this piece here, this one here, and I'm going to mount it right there.
And it's a very rare thing today. Like go into any restaurant, go into any shop. Everything is so curated and perfect and like put together like it's from a machine. Everything in our space, literally everything was done by hand. And that, I think, that authenticity and that rareness, everybody who walks in, the first thing they say is, oh, this is a cool space. Because those are the first two things. The third thing is you get to put energy into the space. Energy inside your space is a real thing, all right? So putting energy and the right energy in your space is super duper critical. So the first mistake is don't make it too fancy. You don't need the newest stuff. Trust me, you don't need the new stuff. And I'm going to give you what you should do instead. If you're building a physical location, instead of buying everything brand new, build around character. A lot of videos will tell you to build around brand, but you don't have a brand yet. Yes, you can build your whole business sheet or your business plan and design the brand from there, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? When you first open anything and you start getting customers in there, you can only define your brand so much. You can guide them towards a brand idea. They're going to help you define what that brand actually looks like, how it actually functions, if you let them. And if you don't let them, you're losing out on such a huge potential of actually making something really cool. Letting your customers come in and help you design the brand that you want to build that will attract them will help you bring in more customers. So that's the first thing. Regardless, if you're doing a website, if you're doing anything, don't go too fancy too early. Start really simple. Make it super easy. Make it super easy to understand and keep it basic when you start. When you're building something new. So let's say that you've set up your business, regardless if it's e-commerce or whatever, you have to learn how to test on a budget. It is one of the most important things you can learn as an entrepreneur. Some people call it the MVP. I don't know, but like for me, it's not always the product. I like to test a lot of different things. I like, for example, We have potential sensors that we're putting on the targets that will register the hit when the axe hits the wall. Now, depending on how good this is and how customers react to having one, we have 10 ranges, we're gonna set up one like this. If it blows their minds when they use that range, then I know we have a winner. But I've bought one of these sensors, not 10. I didn't start with 10 and say, oh my God, this is gonna be great because I know it's gonna be great because I'm Steve Jobs. You're not Steve Jobs, okay? Take one. See if they love it. The same thing applies for your online business. Do not go and redesign your whole website around something that you think might work. You have to go in and do it step by step. I'll give you another example. We are the only axe throwing range in the world that lets you make your own axe. Now, I know there's other places where you can smith an axe, you can make the head and everything, but we literally have a class where you take the head that's already done. It's a very cool throwing axe head and a cool handle, and you can customize it and make your own, and you get to take that entire axe home, and the price for it is super insanely cheap. It's $150 per person. That includes throwing, and you get to keep the axe. And that's in Switzerland. You cannot find things like this for that price. It's insane, the offer that we can give. But when I built this, when I first started building this concept, it did not look anything like it looks now. We got tables that I got for free. I got maybe 5 or 6 vices that were $50 a piece, and I got a couple of tools, and that's how we started selling the product. And once I saw like, man, this is actually working, then we extended it and made it into something big. There's so many people who go through and think this idea is gonna be the shit. Guess what? I'm one of those people as well. I built an entire fitness studio inside of my axe throwing range because I thought people are going to love this and so many things make sense. I'm gonna invest nice website, nice brand new machines, all this stuff. That idea failed. It failed completely. It was one of my biggest failures and also a massive, massive lesson in that you need to start small. And starting small means learning how to test with your product, with your current standing product. You have to learn how to make small tests throughout whatever you want to do, because you should iterate and you should improve it, but you have to make the test small enough that's not going to ruin you. In fact, it shouldn't even be a thought. It should really be like, I'm running this. Let's see what happens. Gonna put some ad dollars behind it. Cool. If you're rebuilding your entire business around a new idea on a hunch, dude, another tip. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Another tip is learning how to use Facebook ads. You can get so much information from how customers are interacting with content that you post. Now, you do have to post it for a little while to see how people react. It does work sometimes. It's not a foolproof plan. You have to have a lot of followers and you have to have good engagement on your past posts to know how if this one's working well or not. So an example here, before I expand to my other locations, I'm going to run Facebook ads in those 2 locations and see which one performs better. And the one that performs better, that's where we're gonna go. Literally finding out how to test the market before spending a lot of money. And the last tip that I can give, well, I guess this is a 2-in-1. First of all, you have to learn to protect your cash flow, and you do this by learning to do this shit yourself. So in the age of AI that we're in now, fortunately, it's very easy for people to build a website or make a product or like even generate images for a product that doesn't exist that you want to try out. You can do all this stuff. It's insane. If you're doing a physical space, the thing that I think really will help you move much, much faster than your competitors and much, much faster than anyone else is understanding how to, first of all, make it really cheap and do it yourself, right? Saving money, so protecting that capital on testing these ideas and also learning how to paint, learning how to use a drill gun, learning how to build the thing. And if you make a janky version of it, who cares, right? If it's good, people will come and you can increase the price when it's better. God, that's another little tip that I just thought of now. And that will actually, this is such a big one, and this is going to be number 4. I'll actually say that at the end. So number 3 is learn to do it yourself. There's my paint. This is what I'm using as a paint roller, my broom, because I didn't want to buy one.
First problem already. This stands up way too tall.
All right, we got the bar very secure now. It's all level.
Really learn to do it yourself. Learn how to paint by yourself. Learn how to do like draw logos by copying stencils by yourself. Learn how to use a drill gun and shit. If you need to use AI to help you do it, do it. But learn how to make this stuff yourself. It's going to save you thousands of dollars. You're going to learn a lot about it and you'll be very invested in this new product. If you just kind of launch something and throw it out, I think that might be the problem with AI today is you can just generate things so quickly that you don't put any effort into it. And so you should put effort into it because then you'll want it to work. Because if it's not generating any revenue, you might kill it a little too quickly. The axe making classes, I think I let that run for 6 months. I knew I wanted to let it run for a period of time. And I was like, okay, I think 6 months is a good run rate. I don't know, but we're just going to test this. I didn't have a better idea for that space anyway, so I was in a quite fortunate position. Now, another test that I'm doing, and I'm just giving you this, guys, off the cuff, I am using my current axe throwing range as a guinea pig for potentially selling alcohol inside of all of my future axe throwing ranges by going through and dealing with the city and the government to add beer to my venue. I've made a couple videos on that recently. I've had some updates, so I'll make another video soon. If this works, and this is a pain in the ass because I've never had to deal with the city before. Now I'm literally inviting them in to say like, hey, come look at what I'm doing, come see what I'm doing, and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Because here's the thing, if I can get all that information from them now, even if I'm able to sell alcohol or not, I'll know what I should do and what I shouldn't do for my next location because I kind of jumped that step before opening this one. And so I only have this space for a limited amount of time. I've got until 2028. By then I have to find a new space. So it's like, let's use this space as much as we can and really squeeze everything out of it and pressure test it to see what we can do, what we shouldn't do, and take it from there. The last one. This is such a good one. So for a lot of people, when I say make it simple, a lot of you, I already know what you're thinking, but this is such a premium thing and I can't do that. I need to come across the blah, blah, blah. That is an excuse for you not to do the thing. So I'm going to give you the biggest slice through that thinking. Make it cheaper. When we first did the axe making part, we had it at a reduced price. I think it was like $100 with the axe throwing. So it was like 50-50. Very, very cheap. Very interesting for people to come and try. And we had a big discount slice on it. I told people like, hey, tell them when they come in, this is our early bird special. Like we're not doing this for a long time. So we're just seeing if people like the idea and you get a discount for being one of the first people to come in here. And that, first of all, if you're a physical space, it lets you go through and test these things without destroying your customer base. It lets you go through and give you're really giving the thing almost away for free. Hell, I would even do that because then you can get the feedback. No, sorry, don't give it away for free. That's terrible. Always charge money. But then you can test and see how the process works, how the customers react. What are they asking for? What are they looking for? When they came in, we thought that they wanted to make the axe and learn about the process of putting the head together and everything. Turns out everybody was like, how do I add my name to the handle? How do I customize the handle to make it look like myself or like what I want it to have on there? How do I make the head sharp? You know, it was like, man, these are questions that we didn't think that was going to come up, but now that we can solve it. And the thing is, there's such simple questions compared to what we thought we were going to do. What we were going to do was really complicated and explain like the anatomy and blah, blah, blah. People like, look, man, I want a really cool axe. It's my birthday present. I want it to look awesome and I want it to be sharp. And when I say it out loud, it makes so much sense. But like, we would not have guessed that because it's so simplified from the idea that initially came out of that preparation. And because of that, we were able to find really simple solutions to give people really cool customized axes that are really sharp if they want it to be. Now we're so good at that process. You can have a sharp axe or a not so sharp axe, which means you can customize your handle more or maybe a little bit less. And now you can have a silver handle, you can have a black or a silver head, a black head. That's really cool. People love that. You can have a big axe and small axe. Even the big axe, small axe is also a test. Don't know if that's going to work. It's in the first 2 months of testing. Right now, the big axes are not selling like I thought they would, but it's okay because the big heads fit on small handles. So even then, I just lose the money on the big handles if they break. Not even that, because if they don't sell, we're going to use the big handles on our own big axes. So if they ever break, we can fix them. And it's just like those things only come in after you start implementing everything, okay? So if you're scared to give out a version of the new thing at your current price point, because that is why you're scared. It is your price point. Make it cheaper. Make it cheaper for the test. And tell everyone, people are not stupid. Your customers are not dumb. Don't try to trick them. Tell them honestly what is going on. Even if you make some content, be like, guys, this is a new product. We're testing it out. We're not sure how this is going to work, but we really love for you to tell us what you think. I have seen so many of these posts and like a lot of this stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can usually tell when it's BS. You can tell when someone's lying to you. And there's like, we've got a limited run of this, and it's not a limited run. They're just got shitloads of them. They just want to sell you this version of it. Make that real. Make it real. Make it real that it's the first version of this thing. You're testing it out, and this is going to have a supply of 100. And if it works, then we'll do better ones. And if you get those first 100 people who buy your first initial product and it sucks, you give them the second one for free, because then if it's good, they'll talk nicely about it and they'll help you sell the next ones. Hope this helps, guys. Thanks for watching.